It's time for Sailor Moon! You're so right. So today in The Sims 4, we're going to be building dorms for characters from Sailor Moon. I was obsessed with Sailor Moon when I was a kid. It's one of the first shows that I ever remember falling in love with. But if you're unfamiliar, Sailor Moon started off as a manga in 1991, but then aired shortly after in Japan as an anime series in 1992. From there, the franchise exploded, resulting in movies, spin-offs, toys, clothing lines. Like, it was very popular, and Sailor Moon has so much lore at this point. But if I had to sum it up really briefly for someone who's never seen it, in the most basic way, a seemingly normal young girl meets a magical cat named Luna, who basically tells her she has an alter ego as Sailor Moon, a guardian destined to save the Earth from evil. She meets up with her new friends who are also revealed to be Sailor Guardians, and they all have unique powers inspired by their planet names, and they use the coolest magical items to help enhance their abilities. So I was looking to see what I should build for the exterior today, and I think the Moon Castle will be perfect. I saw this build and immediately knew it would look good in The Sims 4. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Midas Merge. Midas Merge is a fun new Merge 3 mobile game where you can discover and nurture adorable creatures and gardens, all while enjoying the magical fantasy world of Midas Merge. It's a free-to-play game that you can actually play offline, and it was created by the same designer of The Sims 3 and The Sims 4. In Midas Merge, your goal is to help King Midas and Queen Laia restore the Gardens of Gold. You must illuminate the land covered in shadows cast by Nyx, the goddess of night. Their story runs deep, and there are so many mysteries and surprises to discover about their lore. Plus, you can combine different types of creatures, discover new abilities, and evolutions. You can even use the Vault of Riches to find unique treasures like decorations and improvements for your garden. I love this game because look how cute these little guys are. This is my favorite creature, and you can even add your own personal touch by renaming them. So check it out, download Midas Merge using the link down below or by scanning the QR code on screen. And right now, Midas Merge are giving away a $500 Amazon voucher to one of our viewers. So make sure to reach level 10 when you download Midas Merge. Thank you so much to Midas Merge for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. So the perfect place to build this today is going to be in the magic realm. We've got the moon in the background, we have the magical aesthetic going on. It's gonna be the perfect location. So let's start off figuring out what our shell is gonna look like. We're basically gonna have a front section coming off this way, and then another front section here, and to the side it kind of branches off a little bit. And then going up to the second floor is kind of the same thing for the main rectangle part of it, but then at the front we have some rounded pieces, so I'm gonna bring those up to the third floor. And there's also the big dome shaped part in the back, so I'm gonna start out building that back here with like a half octagon. I'm gonna bring it up to the second floor, but then on the third floor I'm gonna trace what I already had, and we're just gonna make it bigger. Oh, I think I might have messed up my shape a little. I need this part to be a little more rounded, and then this part is gonna be towering over the rest, so I'm gonna make that up to the fourth floor. All right, so here is our shell, and for the roofing I feel like it's actually going to be pretty easy. We're going to use some octagonal roof pieces, and we'll start off with the big one. We'll just bring that all the way across. I'm going to curve it completely, and we'll bring that up just a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on the front octagons here, just arching it and then bringing it up slightly, and then I'm going to copy and paste that onto the other one to make sure we have an exact copy. I'm using gabled roof pieces to cover the entire top portions, and I think we're actually going to lower that down quite a bit. And then for the front, I'm going to again copy and paste so I have like the same angle. I'm gonna adjust it, bring it all the way to the front. We'll hide it in that like roof part back there. But then I think I also want a bit of an overhang coming down, so I'm going to go in again with a hipped roof, and I'm gonna lower it down to match the angle that I just added. We'll bring out the adjusters, and then again just pull that back. So we're just gonna have like a little bit of overhang added on top of what we made. This whole building is generally pretty white, so I'm gonna just use some white roof paint, some normal white trim, but then maybe we can change it up on the domes. I'll use like a gravel white roof paint. We're gonna go one step further with the roofing today. I'm actually gonna use this decorative fence here from high school years, and I'm gonna just trace on top where I've added my roofing on the towers. This one is cool because it adds little lights there too. And this way, now that we've added the fence, we can also go in and add a trim around it too. And then on this one, we'll do something a little different. This time I'm using the Discover University fence. I'm bringing that same fence down onto my balconies. And also, since we have this awkward part here in our shell, I'm gonna go in and just kind of section those parts off with the fence as well. And I think there's a nice like rounded staircase leading up to this. Unfortunately, we can't do that in The Sims yet. So I'm gonna just add a rounded fence part here, making sure that we've got a straight edge along the front. And then we can add our stairs onto here, and this is the closest we're gonna get to rounded stairs right now. Let's also add trim around the rest of it. So I'm thinking about using this one from Vampires today, and I think I'm gonna put this around most of it, but sometimes I like to leave the towers bare. So like the trim will be around pretty much every other part, but I'm gonna exclude it from the towers. For my wallpaper, I think we just need like a white brick. I'm thinking about this one from high school years, and I think we'll be fine with just putting that all over the entire thing. Okay, this is coming along, but before we go any further, there are massive pools lining both sides of the building. So I'm just gonna go in and add those. And then I think we could do another one right along the side here. So just bringing that all the way to the front. We're doing the exact same thing on both sides. There we go. That is looking good. All right, now we need to add windows. For the top part, I wanted to add a lot of them. So I'm thinking about using these ones here from Realm of Magic. And I'm adding these around the entire top floor. I'm also adding them around the second floor, but I think I'm gonna keep them closer together. And then the building actually has archways on the towers. So I was thinking about using these from Cats and Dogs and literally just making them into my windows. I've added walls behind there, so we're not gonna have Sims just like wandering over, about to fall over the edge. We could even add a statue or something going on in the window. I'm adding archways along the front balcony. We'll do a bigger archway from Vampires here, and maybe I'll just bring those archways down to the front too. And then inside there, visible to the outside, I can add the Realm of Magic windows. I've got my door down at the front, and we're just gonna sneak some lighting in here so it brightens it up and you can actually see the front door. And I'll do the same thing up here, so once we add the door, you'll be able to see it. And then for the rest of the windows, I was actually thinking about changing it up and using some of these ones here from the castle kit. I like to combine some of these together so it looks kind of like one big window, even though we have the trim there. And for the top of the towers, I'm just using these smaller ones here. Perfect. Okay, now we can add columns, and I think we're gonna use a variety. I've been loving the ones from For Rent lately, so I'm gonna add those ones on the top balcony. We're also gonna use these stone ones here from Get Together, but then for the rest of it, I'm gonna use these ones from Get Famous, and I think I'm actually gonna use a lot of them. So I'm gonna add them in between like wherever I have any windows, and then I can recenter it so they're gonna be actually in the middle of it. But you can see after I've added lighting here how it's gonna add dimension to the build. I'm also bringing the columns like around each of the towers, so it's like every opportunity to add a column I did. I've also started to add flooring in between my pools, and I think I'm gonna bring that all the way around the build to the back. And now that we've got all of that done, we can start to add the details. First thing I'm doing, you knew it was coming, I'm going to take the moon lamp from Werewolves. We're gonna take it in white, and I'm going to size it up pretty big. I'm gonna raise it up using Alt-9 on my keyboard, and we're just gonna place that on top. That'll be the top point. Then I want to use some other spikes on there, so I'm gonna use these ones here from Vampires on the towers. And then for the other points, I think I want to use these here from Get Famous. So I'm just gonna add those on the front parts of our roofing. I'll bring them along the sides here too. And we also have another moon lamp from Growing Together, which I think I'm gonna add into the archways. I know the actual build doesn't have it, but like this is a Sailor Moon build, so the moons there make sense, and they're just going to be like poking out. Maybe the one on the left can be a little smaller. What do we think? Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that and put it on the other side too. Cute. And then to line the pools, I've opened up Realm of Magic Debug, and I'm looking for this. I wish they added this into the actual items. It's just like a little flower-shaped lamp hidden in debug, and the lamp actually won't work until we add something to it. So I'm just gonna line these all the way down, just trying to evenly space them. And then we're gonna take these glowing orbs also from Realm of Magic Debug, and I'm just gonna raise them up so they're sitting in that flower shape. We're gonna do the same thing for all of them. And then I also really wanted to add the waterfalls from the Riviera kit. So I'm also just going to line the pool this way with the waterfalls, really just so we have something there. And I'm also gonna use the pool trim from the Riviera kit as well. We're going to stray a little bit from the actual build because I want to use crystals like in the pool. I don't want to add too much greenery around the bottom of it. Like I want to keep it looking very clean, but I was thinking we could use a crystal bush instead. Again, I'm gonna try not to go overboard with these, just like putting them around the corner here. We can add a little bit of greenery, like maybe maybe I'll add these shrubs from base game, maybe also some big planters at the front. And I don't really have the most room in the back here, but I was thinking about adding a fountain, which we can add some terrain paint around. I guess a cauldron, since we're in the Realm of Magic world, and we can maybe do like a pergola on top. It's all ready by this super cute waterfall. But then I was also thinking of doing like a training ground, like even just a set of punching bags for them. Like in The Sims 4, this could be a school where they train like warriors. I don't know, we've got the punching bags. Inside is going to be more academic. Maybe we can do some more training stuff in there, but I also wanted to add some more orbs just like around the fountain, maybe just a couple of them like floating around. And then up top here, obviously we're gonna need some telescopes. Like this is very planet space based. So I'm adding 2 of them and I'm just creating this cozy viewing area up top. This is also meant to be like a royal palace. So I'm using these base game column tables here, and we're gonna see a lot of crystals and stuff on the interior. So I'm already starting to add those as decor. All right, so here we have our moon castle in The Sims 4. These trees back here are getting in my way of showing you, but look at it with like the shooting stars in the background. It looks so perfect. I love the lighting here too. I added some fountains in the pond going. Oh, the background is just too good for this. Like I could stare at this all day. In the back, we have our fountain and our training grounds. I added the crystals surrounding it. We also have our cauldron area over here just with some more seating. Oh, we have a sim coming to use that already. But this part here just looks so beautiful. I am obsessed with the outside here. Okay, I need to get in there before I already have Sims swimming in the pool. This is like technically a public lot, so I can't really control them, but like you guys are kind of killing the illusion here. All right, let's go inside. I did make a layout. We're not gonna have room for everyone in this house, so we're gonna end up spinning the wheel to figure out who will actually live here, but we're gonna have a bedroom to the left and to the right. This is gonna be a main area, like a study hall. We'll have the kitchen and dining in the back and 2 bathrooms. Up top, we're gonna have 3 bedrooms on this floor and 2 bathrooms. Then going up to the 3rd floor here, I wanted to add like a jewelry making station or a space where we could show off all of their jewelry collections. And then up top, I'm not really sure, it could be a study, it could be a training area, something communal for all of them. So we're gonna start here on the 2nd floor, and I actually wanted to start by building Sailor Moon's own bedroom, although I have already built something for her in a different video. I think it was one of my Every Room is a Different cartoon videos, so I'll link that down below. This is why she's getting the smaller one. But Sailor Moon was destined to become a Sailor Guardian, as she's actually the reincarnation of an alien princess. Though she can be very emotional, she's also brave, kind, and strong, and she always sees the good in her enemies that others may not. She uses moonlight-based attacks and wields many magical items like moon rods, compacts, and transformation brooches. Okay, so Sailor Moon's room, these are all going to be based off of their guardian form, by the way, and her main colors are red, yellow, and blue, but I am going to incorporate some pink in here. A lot of her items are pink, so I feel like using that to tie it all together will work. I think I'm going to use this blue rug under my bed from Realm of Magic, and I definitely want to use some of these moon lamps like surrounding the bed, so I'm going to just put a couple on either side here. The general aesthetic that we're going to be seeing today is going to be cutesy, space themed, magical. I honestly can't believe we didn't do this earlier. I'm also going to be adding some Get Famous columns surrounding the bed, so we're gonna make like our own canopy bed. So using these sheer curtains from high school years, I'm gonna just put them together. We're gonna raise them up so they're gonna look like they're connecting underneath these columns. And actually I should have done this first, but we're going to section off this part just using the wall tool, and then I'm going to replace those with some columns. So it's actually going to be like surrounding the bed. We'll just rotate these columns so they're facing forward, but now you can kind of see where this is going. When I do this, I also like to hang fairy lights from the canopy, so I'm just gonna raise these up. We have these star-shaped ones from base game. They're so fitting, so I'm just gonna put them around each side. This is already looking so cute. In the back there, I think we'll have room for a bookshelf, so I'm gonna stick that one there. And then finding items to match their items in the show and stuff is gonna be really hard to match, but we're gonna do our best. And I know there's one item in Realm of Magic Debug. We have an actual star wand, and this is gonna be as close as we're gonna get here. I'm probably gonna be reusing this item a lot in this build just because it's gonna match like their items the most, but also I'm convinced that there is a secret Sailor Moon fan on the Sims team, because when you look under the Crystal Creations Kit debug, which is a kit where you can make a bunch of jewelry, we have items called the Starry Sailor Necklace or the Starry Sailor Ring. There are earrings. You cannot tell me that this is a coincidence. But there's also a heart-shaped gemstone, which I'm going to be adding on the shelf as well. And then there's other ones that just seem fitting, like the star-shaped one. Again, we're gonna see a lot of stuff like this scattered throughout the build. I do also need to start bringing in some red, so maybe I can add some red shoes. Oh, and the bows. The bows are such an iconic part of all of their uniforms, so hopefully we have a bow to match every color that we'll see today. Over to this side, I'm gonna add a red mirror from high school years, and I'm also raising up some little campers fairy lights just to fill the gap in the ceiling here. Ooh, we cannot forget about her cat Luna, and actually, I think my first pet stuff has some cat beds. Yeah, we can use this one, and maybe we'll size it down. I think it's still functional this way, and I'll just kind of like put it over here by the mirror. I wish I could put a little moon thing like on her forehead, but I can also add these cat scratch things. Wait, do you have any moon-shaped toys or anything I could add? I don't think so. Maybe I'll just give her like a little yarn ball. Perfect. It's like a full moon instead. Werewolves also has some moon stuff we can add. Like we have this wall decal. There's also the moon mirror. Ooh, maybe I could size up a bow and stick it on top. Cute. We're gonna bring in some red chairs. Oh, I just realized it's actually perfect because she has the balcony here. I feel like I have to use the Phase of the Moon rug too. It's the same one that I used but in a different swatch. I just wish it came in blue. I've already added the moon rug from Crystal Creations, and I'm just gonna add a coffee table, but I also wanted to add a vanity. I'm gonna do the same thing with the fairy lights on this side, just raising them up to fill the gaps. We're gonna use the heart chair, obviously, and then I think I'm gonna add more of like the star ones, but I need to find some kind of clutter that can look like her compact. Like we have makeup clutter. Isn't there literally a compact in debug? I mean, we have this. It might be the closest thing we can get. I'm sure as we go though, we're gonna find more items that will match. So I'm just gonna add even more jewelry. Like I feel like this could fit. Oh, there's actually a moon necklace. And then here, I think I'm also gonna put up a shelf. This one's from Pastel Pop. I like these little lanterns in here, so I'm gonna add a couple more of those, I think. And there are actually more base game decals with moons on them too. So I'm using those ones, and I think I'm combining them with these clouds here. They're just giving off like a cutesy vibe. I feel like they're gonna work with our aesthetic. I'm gonna use this table here from high school years. And Crystal Creations also has this jewelry box, which is perfect. It has a bunch of little items in there that look like they could be some of their magical brooches or earrings. There's also this one, same thing. It has like pieces on display. I like the colorful ones. I think we'll go with this. I feel like this mirror here is also giving Sailor Moon. I'm gonna add a rose. And I was also thinking about the bunny bookshelf from Cottage Living. The cat lamp in the corner could be cute. I need a smaller dresser. I'm hoping that this cats and dogs one could work. Maybe if we moved the cat bed over. We definitely have room for some shelves up here, so I'm just gonna add some little knickknacks. Maybe some items from Snowy Escape. Also from the Everyday Clutter kit, there is a little compact there. Do I have any tiaras or like crowns? I guess we have like the crystal crown. Way lamer than what they actually use. I've also found some art here from the gallery, which I'm going to download, and I'm just gonna surround that with these pictures here from Paranormal. All right, so this is our first room, our Sailor Moon inspired room. This is gonna set the vibe for the rest of the house. I feel like we're bringing in like the core aesthetics in here. Again, if you guys want to see me build her actual bedroom, I will link that video down below so you can check that out. All right, let's move on to the next dorm. Let's spin to see who the next dorm will be for, and we're gonna be building for Sailor Neptune. Sailor Neptune is named after Neptune, the god of the sea, so naturally, she has abilities with ocean attributes. She is seen as elegant and feminine. She's basically a creative genius, and she loves playing the violin, but she can also use her violin in battle. Some of her other magical items include the Neptune crystal and the deep aqua mirror. I guess I'll just keep going along the second floor for now, so I'm going to add in some white flooring, and it's a very specific shade of green that I'm looking for. Oh, I think this one will work. I'm going to manipulate the lighting a little bit, so we're gonna have some green in some places, some like bluey teal, with a main focus on like her sea green. So looking for a bed, I was thinking about this one here from high school years, and I actually want to do the same canopy idea that we did in the Sailor Moon one with the columns. I'm not gonna do this in every single one, but I have an idea for this. So just sectioning off the bed again, using the same columns and spandrels, but I know that hidden in Island Living Debug, we have this item here, which are like flowers that are wrapped around in like a spiral pattern. So I think I can get these around the columns pretty nicely. I'm gonna shrink them. Yes, they wrap around like perfectly. I'm gonna do this all along all of the columns around the bed. So just raising them up. This is going to tie together her colors nicely. And then we can bring in the curtains again. Of course, we're gonna need the string lights here too. So I'm just gonna raise those up and hide them underneath the spandrels. That's so pretty. For my tables, I'm gonna use these here from City Living. I'm going to size up this rug here from high school years under my bed. And I don't wanna bring in too much blue. We're definitely gonna want more green than anything. So maybe we could also bring in these bamboo sticks from Spa Day. I could section off an area back here. Like we'll use those as a divider. And there's this bookshelf from the Crystal Creation kit that comes in this teal color. I wanna bring that in here. And I also wanna include a lot of mirrors in her room. I definitely don't think we're gonna be able to find a handheld mirror as nice as the one she actually has, but we could maybe include like a couple of these. Oh wait, also from Island Living Debug, we have this. I like to use these sometimes as shelves in like water-based builds. So what if I raise these mirrors so they're kind of on top of there? The mirrors look weird. What if I like raise a bunch of mirrors as if they're leaning on top of there? And then we just do like a mirror collage down here. The violins could be here too. And obviously she's getting the 15,000 simoleon one. So I'm gonna just raise these so they're hanging out on top of these shelves. It's almost giving the Little Mermaid with like her collectibles. And then we can add some more crystals on here. I was thinking about adding a record player somewhere, maybe against the bamboo. And then underneath the display that we've just made, I have a green dresser from base game I'm gonna put. I also want to bring a bunch of plants in here too. So I'm just adding some more greenery like everywhere. I'm adding a green vanity over here in the corner. Her bow is actually blue. So I think I might just size that up like a lot and put it over the window. We also need some curtains in here. So I think I'm gonna use these ones from Modern Luxe. So this has the moons on it. That is such a Sailor Moon vibe. I don't think I'm gonna use it in this room, but I'm gonna put it somewhere else so I don't forget about it. We're gonna use this nifty knitting green couch, maybe a coffee table in the middle here. And I've just sized up some blue crystals that I can add around as decor. There's also this chair from City Living, which I love. I wish it was a dining chair though. It's like a lounge chair, but this would be perfect at my vanity. Maybe I'll just kind of like put it over to the side. I think these lights could also look cool with like the hanging plant coming down. All right, so this is how our Sailor Neptune bedroom turned out. I love this area over here with all the mirrors. I feel like that little gallery wall type thing, it turned out cool. Also the bed with the flowers wrapped around. We have our vanity area and seating areas over here. I was trying to find a picture to frame of Sailor Uranus since they're dating, so I put that flag there instead. And from here, I think we should go downstairs and do the other bedrooms. So let's go back to the wheel, spinning the wheel again for the next storm, and we're going to be building for Sailor Mars. I love her. Sailor Mars has abilities centered around fire, but she also has spiritual abilities and she's a great archer. She can be old-fashioned and traditional sometimes based on her tragic past, and she can sometimes be serious and mysterious, but she is very loyal and caring to those she loves. Some of her items include the Mars arrows and the star power stick. So still on the second floor, our next bedroom is going to be over here, and I feel like I want to raise it up on a platform. So I just made a wall across the middle and we're going to raise it up. Then we can delete the wall and we'll be left with that platform space there. Our main colors we're going to be using are purple, black, red, and white. So maybe we'll do black flooring for this one. I'm going to change my lighting in here. So we're going to be using purple and I'm going to set one of them also to red. And let's find a bed here. I was thinking about using this one here from Get Famous. And then underneath again, I think it would be cute if we use the Realm of Magic rug. And this time we can use end tables from Paranormal. I'm gonna add this candle set from Vintage Glamour, along with these black and purple candles from the movie Hangout Stuff Pack. I think this time I'm gonna use the high school years lights going over top of the bed. And there's also these starlights we could use from the movie Hangout Pack. I'm gonna add these coming down the sides. And what if we filled this entire space in here with some glowing mirrors from Spa Day? Could be interesting. Over to this side, I'm gonna add one of the fancy mirrors from Get Famous. And for the dressers, I think we could possibly use these ones here from Vintage Glamour. We can bring in some items from Paranormal, some more lighting from Snow Snowy Escape. Ooh, and actually we could do some of the blanket chairs from Snowy Escape too. There are some purple crystals that I want to add in here from Realm of Magic. It's just a matter of where we put them. I could put them over here, and I did also want a fireplace. I think maybe this one from Horse Ranch, because it's smaller, could work. And then we had some crystals around that too, and her bow is purple, so I think I could probably put this over the window as well. It seems to be a good spot for them. Up here I wanted a red rug. Maybe I'll shrink it a bit and I can add some more lighting, maybe some black chairs from Paranormal. Oh, and there's also some purple poofs we could use from City Living. I'll add a coffee table in the middle, and I know it's not the same, but we do have some arrows. They're like heart arrows and they're in debug, so I'm gonna add a couple of these on the table. I do have this Sailor Mars picture, but I was also wanting to add some bookshelves. Maybe we can do 2 of them over in this corner here. I'll just have to like move the window over slightly. And of course we're gonna be adding more gems and crystals all over the bookshelves. So we have the Sailor Mars bedroom. I'm loving the purple and red color scheme going on in here. The starlights are perfect. I'll probably be bringing those through some other bedrooms. Then we have the fireplace, some crystal lights, and then over to this side, our seating area, we've got the bookshelves, some of her items or makeshift items that I could find. And of course I added some star wands hanging out over there too. Okay, let's move on. I think I'm gonna continue doing the bedrooms just so we get them all done. Moving on, the next dorm we're going to be building for is for Sailor Venus. Sailor Venus is named after Venus, the goddess of love, and she uses attacks centered around metal, specifically gold, and light elements. She's always chasing new love to the point where it distracts her sometimes, but she is athletic, hyperactive, and very protective. Some of her items include the Venus Crystal, Venus Mic, and Venus Chain. So for the Sailor Venus room, I want to focus on like the metal. Her color scheme is going to be orange and blue, so I've picked this high school years wallpaper, which kind of looks like it has like some rays of light coming from it. And then I combined these 2 lights from high school years together. Honestly, you could probably even combine them one more time, but I thought this kind of like makeshift chandelier looked cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and find her a bed. I would like it to be orange, but I could also go with yellow or blue, I guess. There's this one with like the metal headboard. It also comes in blue, so depending on how we want to play it, we could really use either of these. But the heart bed is also perfect for her since she's like named after the goddess of love. I wish we had like heart-shaped pillows or something. Would it be weird if I put a whole pergola in here? I know, yes, but wait. I'm layering these pillows here. These are from the Modern Luxe kit. I've added my chandelier on the inside, and we're gonna add some of these pedestals here as my end tables. We're gonna add an orange fluffy rug under the bed. She uses a sword, so I was thinking about maybe trying to get away with this one from Get Famous. And for her chain, they kind of look like beads. And I know we actually have this like bead thing here from City Living. I'm also just a little unsure about how I feel with this pergola being here, but we're gonna keep it for now. I really wanted to add some flowers in here. I wanted like a romantic vibe. There's a heart chair here from high school years, but it doesn't come in the swatches that I wanted. If it came in like an orange or a darker blue, I think that would be perfect. Oh, we could do this chair here from Tiny Living with a table, and we can put some more flowers on it. This is turning out really pretty actually. So here's what it's looking like so far on the bedside. I also added some more poofs over here to the left, and Venus also has a cat. She has a white cat, so I'm gonna add this bed probably over, let's maybe put it in this corner. And we have a lot of room in here too, so I could also add a cat tree somewhere. I haven't added her bow yet. She has 2. She has a red one in her hair and a blue one on her uniform, and I've been going based on the uniform, so I think we have to give her one of the blue bows. I had a bookshelf over here. I still need a dresser. I feel like it has to be something grand, like this one here from Vampires. I'm adding a blue lamp in the corner, more magical crystals, and we're gonna add some magical jewelry as well. We're also gonna add a microphone, maybe a star mirror over the cat tree, this shelf over in the corner from Paranormal, and there we have our Sailor Venus dorm room. This one was kind of risky. I wasn't really sure if it was gonna work out, but I think it's cute. I like that we have our cat stuff over here. This is just a little seating area. I added a couch couch just to kind of like separate the room a little bit. A divider could have also been cute in here, but I feel like then we're borderlining on like too much territory, and then again, when are we not? This one was a risky one. Let's move on to the final bedroom we're gonna do today. And spinning the wheel for the final time today, we're going to be building a room for Sailor Mercury. Sailor Mercury uses attacks centered around snow, ice, water, sleet, and mist. She can be shy, she loves spending time alone studying and reading books, she is probably the smartest member of the group, and she's very into math and computers. Some of her magical items include the Mercury goggles, a magic harp, and the supercomputer. So Sailor Mercury's is going to be all the way over here. And I haven't used it today, but I was thinking about using the flooring from Horse Ranch. It's like a space-inspired flooring. I feel like we could also play with platforms in here. Maybe a double platform. We'll use this blue stone trim, maybe some columns leading up, and we could actually continue using the modern luxe curtains in blue. Hers is definitely one of the more monochromatic ones. It's just a lot of blue in like different shades. But I feel like this bed could work really well. We could also use some of the bubble gates, and these end up really cool. I've done them in some of my water themed builds before, and when you go in live mode, they add little bubbles like coming up in your room. And then we could hide the rocks using some end tables. We don't have a harp in The Sims 4, but I could try and represent it using like these vertical lines from Eco Lifestyle. Like I feel like that maybe could work out. And then from the book nook kit, I was thinking about using the book tables. So I can stack these by the bed. I can even like stack them on top of each other. And then on top of there, we can do different kinds of crystals. Oh, that looks good so far with the bubbles. At the end of the bed, I'm gonna add an ottoman. And then I was thinking about adding a library space over to the side here. She loves reading. I want to make sure we have tons of books in her room. Maybe Herbo can go above the bookshelf. I've also added some more shelving in between the columns that we put, basically just so I have more room for more books and knickknacks. What if we stacked these actually so she has a literal library going on in her room, and then we could use a divider over here to section off a different portion of it. And this is where I was thinking we could add her desk with her computer, all of her like tech things. Maybe we could actually use this one here from high school years. I've given her a blue computer, but I also want to add monitors on top. Like I like adding these ones here from Get to Work. Definitely not computer monitors, but I feel like they do the job. I've added more shelving extending over top of the desk, and I know for sure we have some glasses in game that kind of look like her Mercury goggles. So I'm gonna add a couple pairs of these. And these books here from the book nook kit are technically shelves, but we can also add them onto this bookshelf here, and they kind of just like stack on there nicely. We definitely have room for a dresser over here, so I'm just adding this one from high school years. I've also added some bubbles in between the stacks of bookshelves, so I'm just hiding that there with one of the column tables. We could also add a mirror in between here. So we have the Sailor Mercury dorm room. I love the bubbles in here. I also really love the bed area as well with the bubbles. Literally our Sims really like it in here too. But we need to move on to furnish the rest of the house, and so far this room is the only one with a desk in it, so we need to make a study for them. So starting on the bottom floor, I actually wanted to make a meeting spot, somewhere that they could all get together and talk about things that needed to be done, plans of action, and that sort of thing. And I feel like the Get Famous chairs are giving off that royal vibe. I'm also sizing up these moon lamps behind as a little bit of a barrier, kind of just angling them and surrounding the chairs with these, almost like a little moon throne. We're also going to add some of the starlights around from earlier, maybe with some mirrors in the background. And this side is where we're gonna start to add our desks. So using these bookshelves as a barrier, I'm actually adding desks behind them for a little bit of privacy, with computers on them of course, and some heart chairs. There's also this weird space under the stairs, so naturally I'm turning that into a cat lounge. A crystal cat lounge actually. And then since we have the room, I'm just lining the other side here with bookshelves as well. So this is study area number 1. I'm just doing something similar on the other side with more cat stuff over here of course. So this is the other side of the study. And I actually realized that adding these moon lamps on top of the pillars sorta looks like the moon rod. So obviously these are going everywhere. I actually kind of wish I figured this out sooner because I really like how these look. So here we have our moon study. We have our meetup spot slash living room. Our bookshelves back here, which I added some knickknacks to, excuse me, and our study slash cat areas. For the kitchen, I wanted to focus on items items from Snowy Escape, so I actually kept the essentials pretty basic. I added this tea shelf along with some other shelving beside it. I wanted to have one big dining table in the middle, hoping that this could also function as another study spot. And I'm also adding this Snowy Escape item over to the side. This presents as a tea cabinet, but it's also a deposit box, so you can hide things in here and keep them safe. So this is how our kitchen and dining turned out. I added the clutter on the shelves, some laptops on the tables. We have the safety deposit box where they can hopefully hide some of their items. I also made sure we have bowls for our cats. In this main floor, I wanted to make more of a relaxing space for them, so I'm adding more of the moon pattern furniture from high school years. I added a star rug, a massive TV. We are 1000% overusing these moon lamps, but I don't care. I also don't know why I thought adding the button basher was a good idea, but I added 2 of them in the second floor hallway, and I also added the bubble blower down below, a little bit ironic with Sailor Neptune and Sailor Mercury living here. And it's hidden under the stairs, so hopefully if the teachers come, it won't be so visible. Plus there are pictures back here of crystals, so technically they could be studying. So we have a bubble blowing station here in the back, an area where you can watch TV, and our random button basher area. Coming upstairs to the 3rd floor, I wanted to have a space where we could make some crystal items. So I'm actually adding 2 back-to-back crystal stations here so they can make their own jewelry. And then I wanted to make some containers where they could store said jewelry. So this is where we're going to keep it all. I'm adding all of the containers, any crystals and debug pieces. This room is going to be like a vault where you would find all of the weapons for a superhero. I'm also adding a woodworking table in here just as an extra skill item. And along the stairs, I'm just adding extra cabinets for more storage options. I'm also adding one of the moon grids near the windows so they could charge their crystals. And this way you can actually power up your items in game. So here is our jewelry storage room. I really love how some of these shelves turned out with all of the jewelry and charms on display. I love that this could be a functional room here as well. And finally, upstairs, we're building the moon training room. I'm adding some purple mirrors in here from Spa Day, and this is going to be their indoor training room. We'll add punching bags in here for them, some treadmills as well, maybe also some yellow robes on the wall. And since I have room on the sides, I can also add some yoga mats. So we have our moon gym upstairs. Even though it's a gym, this somehow turned out so cozy. Here they can do all of their fight training, maybe some mind training too with the yoga. And the bathrooms I just tied together by bringing in the aesthetics that were randomized today. This one is Sailor Neptune's. It's definitely the best one, I think, of the day. We've got, of course, all of her mirrors all over the wall again. This is the one that I made for Sailor Mars. Definitely the brightest one that I made. Sailor Mercury's was also very pretty. I brought a divider back there from the Decor to the Max kit. We've got some robes on the wall, some of those columns. I also added some Oasis Courtyard vases in here. And for the Sailor Venus bathroom, I just added some rose petals underneath the bathtub. And I also added some for her underneath the shower. So that's it for our Sailor Moon inspired build in The Sims 4. Look at all of these people going in. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. And thank you again to Midas Merge for sponsoring this video. Again, you can download now using the link down in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen.